But when are we going live?
I don't know. I don't know when we're going live. I don't know when you're going live. I don't know when I'm going live. I don't know what being alive even is. Could you tell me the secrets of how you figure out how to be alive?
Well, the key factor is a lot of cocaine.
Yeah? Where does one find this cocaine? Can you buy it in a
Well,
Kroger's?
yeah, actually.
Oh yeah?
I mean, it's got to be specific. You got to look for like a specific kind of Kroger's, and it's not exactly in a good part of town, but you know, it's possible. You know?
No, I don't know actually. I live in the good neighborhoods.
Ha. Oh. Oh.
What does that mean about you? What does that tell us about you?
I live in an okay neighborhood. I mean, it's better than the one I like grew up in. Because that one got like so bad we moved out. Like there was a lot of gang activity and a couple people died over there.
Hmm.
You know?
I don't actually.
Oh. In all fairness, my dad was also part of a gang, so you know. I don't know how that helps or hurts anything. It's just I like
Also, this is
mentioning
a.
it because I think it's funny.
Just don't forget this is live, so you know.
Yeah, yeah, really. Oh
Yeah,
gee, oh, do tell.
we're just alive right now, you know.
Does it hurt?
You tell me.
A little bit.
How does
A
it
little
hurt?
bit. It hurts when I cough.
Does it hurt when you uh have some special um alone time?
Keep going. Well, nailed it. Yes. Dude, you fucking killed it on that joke. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank
Great
you.
work. Proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
Hello,
So,
everybody in the chat. Hello, Gotcha Extreme, Mr. Person. Kian is watching us, and Bombastic Bean. Welcome all. Welcome one, welcome all. Why does it still say that there's the back to game? Huh. Interesting.
it's my phone buzzing.
It seems that
So
the
are we like
video...
starting off from where you left off last time?
Yes, yes, yes. We're not going to start from
Cool.
scratch because that would be too much work. It seems that the Amnesia got because I opened it up before I started, and then it got a bit stuck. So I'm going to quit out of it, and then I'm going to restart it so that you guys can follow the progress that's going on. Kian Prime says he's been playing No More Heroes on the Nintendo Switch. I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
I haven't played it, but I know it's like a kind of goofy game about a guy who decides to become a superhero after he orders a lightsaber online, and he just gets a laser sword. And he's like, "All right, I guess I'll just go like help my community," and he does that by like mowing people's lawns and like helping people with chores, like a lot of like really like lame goofy shit, but like also fighting supervillains. It's
Yes.
funny. It's like a weird Japanese game on the Wii, and I've heard that it's great.
Well, he said it's on the Switch, not on the Wii.
Well, it was originally on the Wii, but now it's been ported to the Switch. Don't correct me.
I am correcting you,
Correct your
bitch.
face, bro.
He should have known better.
Everyone stop! Don't be mean to me.
Yes, I will be
Everyone's
mean to
being so
you.
mean today. Damn it.
It's the only thing I have left in life, you know, being mean to Xavier.
It's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
My mom's finally watching Game of Thrones again after
Yeah.
like 2 years. Because it used to be like her favorite show, and she like watched the whole thing back to back like fucking 12 times. And then the finale happened, and then she stopped. It used to be on the TV in the house like
Yeah.
every day. And then the last season happened, and then I just stopped hearing that theme song blasting in the living room.
Yes, exactly. Come on.
What are you doing back there?
Once
You okay?
again, I'm
Do
in
you
one
need
of
help?
those rooms that has like the motion
Blink
activated
twice
lights.
if your life is in immediate danger. Blink twice.
Blink, blink.
All right, he's fine. He's good. That's 2 yeses, so he's definitely fine.
Yeah.
I've been watching Simpsons Treehouse of Horror in the background on the TV today. Just
Oh,
like
yeah?
letting it run through. Oh yeah, because like on Disney Plus they have just like a whole segment that's just like the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror collection, and I've just been letting it run.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite so far?
I don't know. I think maybe the one where Homer accidentally invents a time machine and keeps changing the past, and every time he goes to the future, something horrible has happened again. And he just keeps going back and fucking things up worse and worse, and like dinosaur times until he just he's trying his best to go back and not change anything in the past so that the future is correct again, but every time he goes back there he just like bumps something on accident and makes it worse until eventually he loses his temper, goes back in time and just kills everything, and like comes back to the future and everything is pretty much normal except that everyone has lizard tongues, and he goes, close enough.
That's great. I love it.
Simpsons fucking rocks, dude.
The Sampsons?
The Sampsons. Them crazy old Sampson people. Them crazy Simpson
We should have another marathon where we watch a bunch of Simpsons together sometime, you know?
After we watched Simpsons, we got through like 4 seasons in a single shot that one time we did that.
Yeah, we did.
That was crazy.
It was fun. So for all of you guys in the chat, what we were talking about is that back when Xavier and I lived in the same state, we would have we had these things where we would, I hung out at his house and had like a sleepover where we watched nothing but Simpsons for 24 hours straight. And it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and I'd never watched Simpsons before
he came
that.
to me and was like, he'd never seen it before and wanted something, wanted like
an introduction.
And I was like, you know what, just the best way to get introduced to it is just jump right in. So we just several whole seasons in one day. It was great.
And there's a Couch Potatoes on my channel about that, actually.
Man, I missed Couch Potatoes. Did you run out of those? Like, did we complete the whole backlog?
Well, I ran out of those, but there's also some like on my busted hard drive that I could try and recover, you know?
Yeah, I mean, if you think it's possible, it couldn't hurt.
Yeah. On the negative side, on the positive side, it actually has inspired me to like come up with other videos and like different ideas because I don't have that sort of crutch to rely on, you know? So
yeah, you used to just put that out instead of doing like David projects, because David projects are fun and weird and all over the place. And
yeah, you know a couple of them that I'm working on that are going to be pretty weird.
Yeah, like that video about hardcore pornography.
Yeah.
I know something the audience does not.
Since when did you know something that the audience did know? I don't even know what that sentence would mean, but
Damn, you fucking roasted their ass.
No, I'm roasting your ass. Your ass needs
Man,
more
you got
roasting
those
than...
fucking guys. That was great.
Listen, your ass is very
Nice
pale,
work,
so
man.
it needs roasting. Their ass, my
Oh,
audience's
jeez.
ass, my audience is a
Have
very
you
nice
been
ass.
checking? How do you know?
Yes.
Have you been looking? Oh my
Yes.
god! What the hell? Again?
I love that you said again there. That's so good. Again.
That's always a funny punchline, is just like to say, are you doing X ridiculous thing? And then go, again?
Right in front of my salad.
You know?
Do you know what that means when I say right in front of my salad?
What? Oh, God, what is that from? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy, because I recognize that, kind of.
It's a reference to pornography.
It is?
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's not like a Futurama joke?
No, it's not a Futurama joke. Or at least I didn't intend it as one.
Okay. I feel like I remember that. Your salad.
Yes.
Huh. This isn't a pool, this is a bathtub.
So anyway, we decided to play some Amnesia tonight as more of a spooktober sort of thing. So Xavier, would you like to be more up to date with what I'm doing? Should I start Discord streaming for you or something?
Will that work? Can we run that?
We can try. I mean, I won't right now, but maybe a bit later.
Okay. We'll leave that open.
So, Xavier, have you played Amnesia: The Dark Descent before?
No, but I watched someone do a let's play of it in like 2011, so basically I'm an expert on it.
Basically, you're an expert on it. I agree. I can't say. I mean, I've actually played the game, and I can't say that I know it any better than you now. But one thing that I really like about this game, this specific video game, Amnesia, is I think there's a sort of economy of game mechanics that's really not present in something like, for example, another horror game we played on here, which is, what was I thinking? Alien Isolation. Because with that one, there's all this stuff you can do, you know. You have the mini games where you hack the computers, you have this, you have that. But this one has a real economy
the
of...
crafting mechanics.
Yeah, the crafting mechanics, the guns, you have to fight 3 different enemies. You fight other humans, you fight...
and Alien,
and you fight the robots. So there's a lot more you do, but with this game, it's a really sort of streamlined experience. It's from an indie developer, so, you know, they don't have a lot of resources. So they can't really... Oh no, the monster's nearby, I have to hide.
You know what? I actually replayed all of Alien Isolation last week.
Yeah? What do you think?
I really liked the game. I feel like I liked it better the second time I played it.
Oh, yeah?
Enough. A big problem with that game on the first run is that a lot of it just drags on when you don't know where to go, and you end up just like lost for like ages.
That's true.
But on my second playthrough, when I knew where to go, I was having like a way more streamlined, fun experience because I just like knew what the goal was. But that game requires you to kind of wander around lost like an idiot for a long time.
And that kind of gets a little bit tiresome, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that it's a little bit more streamlined here. There's a bit more of a sense of focus in what the story does and how it wants you to do it. And also the mechanics, I think, work really well together. Like there's just a sort of a beautiful simplicity of the Oh, you really have to balance really effectively the mechanic of ignoring the darkness, fighting the darkness, and then fighting the monster that's hunting you, because the monster attracts itself to light, so you're safe in the darkness. But then the darkness also makes you go crazy, so you can't stay in the darkness for too long. And I think there's sort of a beautiful sort of symmetry in the way these mechanics work well together, you know?
Yeah.
Versus in Alien Isolation, where there's just all this different stuff you have to deal with all at once. And there's not as much of a sort of cohesion of game mechanics and how everything... It doesn't work as well together. Each of the elements aren't bad, but I don't think it comes together quite as well, you know? And I think
you know what? You're right, because that crafting mechanic in that game, even though I knew how to use it and like knew it was useful, I used it a lot in like the first like couple hours of that game, and then after that, like, just stopped relying on it entirely and just started only stealthing around, because really the only thing you need to be able to do is just walk quietly and like crouch sometimes. You can just sneak around anything, so I didn't need to keep creating like noisemakers and Molotovs and grenades and like smoke bombs. Like, all that stuff just never really was like crucial usefulness. So it just like kind of gets forgotten after a while.
I agree with that a lot. I think that this... I don't know. I'm not as... I've heard that the sequel to Amnesia isn't quite as good. And I'm not even talking about A Machine for Pigs. I'm talking about Amnesia Rebirth, the new one that just came out.
Oh, the new one isn't even good? Oh.
Well, I've heard that it's not bad. It's just that it doesn't bring anything new to the table, you know? And the story isn't quite as interesting.
Because this one, like, kind of changed horror games, and, like, there was a lot of clones of this for a little while. Like, everything was just trying to be Amnesia.
And you can definitely feel the DNA of Amnesia in Alien Isolation.
Oh, absolutely. I guess it's hard to, like, change the genre every time, so sometimes you just get something kind of, like, bog standard.
Although, if you guys are interested, I could eventually get around to doing a playthrough of that if you'd like.
Of that?
Yeah, Amnesia Rebirth.
A machine for Rebirth?
Well, I have a machine for pigs too, so I could play that one even if you want.
I've heard that one's like really bad. Like I've heard some like anger at that one.
Well, you know, we could always have some funny anger streams, you know. I'm always down for
some fun anger.
Anger stream, you know, just...
Peter, you need to get off of the internet. Not yet, Mary Jane. I'm almost enjoying my rage.
What are you even talking about with this enjoying your rage?
There's like this weird fucking Spider-Man like web comic that came out a few years ago. It was kind of like someone just changing it was like this goofy Spider-Man webcomic that someone did where Peter Parker would just like say the most ridiculous shit, and there's this one where he's just like hunched over a computer looking pissed off, and he's like, I'm almost enjoying my rage.
That's some pretty cringy shit right there, I gotta say.
No, it's awesome.
Why are you saying it's awesome? What's awesome about it?
Funny. It made me laugh.
Why did it make you laugh?
Alright, never mind then. Jesus. This guy makes Peter Parker an incel, and that's hilarious, and everyone laughs, but when I talk about that time Peter Parker is enjoying his rage, and suddenly I'm the weirdo.
Listen, that's a spoiler. That's for a video that hasn't come out yet.
Well, that's what you get.
Listen,
But
I showed you that information under contract, under an NDA, for you not to tell anyone else
I
about
told you
it.
this in
I am
confidence.
going to sue you for this. For breach of contract.
Well, baby, contracts are like hearts. They're made to be broken.
Why, though?
And then I become the CEO of McDonald's. You know? You ever just become the CEO of McDonald's?
Oh no, I think
You ever
the...
just do
Look,
that?
hey look. I think that robot, the bot, is broken for the monster there. Look at him.
I don't have a link to the stream. I'm just... Hold on, let me look. Let me go to my subscriptions and go open the stream so I can watch.
There we go. I had to get killed so I could free myself from that.
We've already been going for 20 minutes?
Yes! Time flies when you're not having fun.
Time flies when you're fucking miserable.
Oh my god.
I can speak from personal experience, that's not true. Time is moving so slowly, man.
Are you saying you're fucking miserable right now?
Not with the stream, that's going okay.
What are you miserable with?
I was supposed to get married on my birthday.
And when's your birthday?
July 4th.
When's that?
Couple months ago.
And when's that?
Not yet, I guess. I get maybe next year. Everyone, please wear a mask.
Why should I wear a mask?
Because it's Halloween.
Okay, that's fair.
Now I've got them.
So Marvel DC Fan Reviews asks, how long are you streaming for tonight? Probably another... probably until 6:30 latest. So, not too long.
Yeah.
Because Xavier has to go trick-or-treating with his younger, quote-unquote, sister.
My 11-year-old sister, who's 13 now.
Your 11-year-old sister of 13 years?
Yeah. She came up with that joke, by the way. She was like, hey, you know what? If you ever talk about me in videos, just always refer to me as your 11-year-old sister. Because I did a video where I talked about her once, like, just a little bit. I briefly mentioned her, and I called her my 11-year-old sister, and she's like, I think it'd be funny if that was just always the nickname. And I'm like, that is funny.
So, like, if you started streaming, so, like, if you kept doing YouTube videos until you're, like, 30 and she's, like, 20 or whatever, you would just keep saying, my 11-year-old sister.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's almost a joke.
You're almost a joke.
Are you dressing up, Xavier, for Halloween?
Yes. Yeah.
What are you dressing up as?
I'm gonna be Ant-Man.
Where did you get the costume?
See my Ant-Man costume? I bought it from another cosplayer who I follow on Twitter, and Instagram, who didn't want it anymore and only wore it once.
It's pretty kinky.
And I got it like for like really cheap because he like was trying to sell it for like a couple months, like almost a year, and like no one was taking it. So like I got a really good deal on that thing. I bought it for like a fraction of what it costs.
How much did it cost?
He bought it for like a couple $100, but I like something like 350, and I think I only bought it for 150.
That's nice. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I already had the helmet from like Christmas last year. Because I told my parents, if you don't know what to get me for Christmas, just get me a helmet. I want to collect helmets.
Yeah.
So, and I already have a couple of helmets laying around. So,
That sounds like fun.
yeah.
What are you doing? Are you gonna go out and have some COVID-inspired parties?
No, I'm gonna stay inside and hang out with my family. But I will take my sister trick or treating, just because like I would feel bad if we didn't, because it's like we've done it like I've taken her every year so far. Um, and we'll probably just disinfect the fuck out of whatever candy we get because I'm paranoid.
Well, I mean, that's not really what you need to worry about, because really, COVID doesn't stick on surfaces as much. What you need to be worried about is when you is breathing in the air from other
Okay,
people.
so
It's being
well, I mean,
in the thing that's really the a contagious vector is when you're breathing somebody else's air.
okay, and I should be okay because I'm
I
wearing
mean,
a
you're.
fucking helmet.
Mm-hmm. So, be careful out there, kids, but don't you know, be too. Just do your best. It's not an all or nothing game. Is my opinion is that you need to be cautious and you need to be careful and you need to take care of other people, but you don't need to be completely absolutely 100% cutting you off from the rest of humanity. It's not an
Yeah,
all or nothing game here.
and even if you did do that, you could still get sick anyway. I know I've known people who've been inside their house for 3 months who still just just ordered pizza one day or something, and I don't know, just got sick anyway. So you know just be careful, but some stuff you just can't really change. But yeah.
I just burped on you.
It's disgusting. Fuck you. How dare you? You butt ass.
What's a
Sure,
butt
I call them
ass?
butt ass guys. Did you hear that fucking?
What is that? I
Got
need to
him.
know. Tell
It's
me. Spell out your insult for me so I know what you mean.
it's like your face
Yes?
and or your behavior remind me of the word ass.
But why did you mention the word butt as well if you're just referring to ass? Because, butt
For
ass
extra
is.
comedic effect.
Well, a butt ass is redundant. It's a tautology, You're saying that referring to
The
the same
redundancy
thing.
is the joke. That's the funny part. God damn it.
No, it's not funny, though.
Your fucking face is funny.
Thank you.
God.
I work very hard on that.
I can't beat you. I give up. I give up. Does anyone else want to turn? Does anyone else want to try this?
Does anyone else want to turn at being my friend? Please. I need friends.
Oh.
Ah! What?
What am I, chopped liver?
Are you chopped liver? Yes, you are. You are chopped liver.
What?
And you're tasty, too. Tasty, tasty chopped liver.
What?
I'll eat you.
What is happening?
I'll eat you with a nice Chianti and some fava beans.
Now do the thing. Do the thing. You got it. You did it. It was perfect. Got him. Nailed it. Boy, you sure showed me. You guys see that new Mando episode? That was pretty cool. the Mandalorian was all like, "Pachoo, pachoo," with his laser gun, and then that big monster was like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." He said that. That was what he said. That was the dialogue. In fact, because I've said it so verbatim, this stream might get in trouble with Disney.
I haven't even watched the first season of The Mandalorian, you assbutt.
We watched the first episode, remember?
We did.
Did you like it?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I like
very...
it's just kind of a Western.
I had very not strong opinions about it, put it that way. I know that Baby Yoda came out of it, and I can't forgive it for that, you know?
Hey man, Baby Yoda's helping some people get through the year.
I know, and I hate him for it.
Everyone should be miserable. Don't help Baby Yoda.
Yes, they should. Everyone should be miserable. Miserable is the natural state of humankind.
Good God.
You see, that's why that's why I invite you on these streams, you know, to keep you miserable.
Keep me in line.
No, to torture you.
Keep me complacent, so I won't ask questions, so I won't know the truth.
What would you be asking questions about?
Oh, what are you asking questions about?
I'm asking questions about you asking questions.
Stop asking questions.
Why?
Because I said so.
Why did you say so?
Because... Anyway, how's the game going? Are you doing good at the game?
Yeah, I just got some acid, and I'm gonna go upstairs to the padlock that's been weakened, and I'm gonna use the acid on the weakened padlock so I can get through the door.
Okay.
So this is about... I don't know how far this is into the game, really, but I'm about where at the segment where we get to, like, the cisterns and, like, the underwater water stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff.
Yeah.
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 Yeah?
No. No.
We just say yeah back and forth like 10 times and then end on no.
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 So Baby Yoda... So is Baby Yoda the Minions 2.0? Debate.
No. Because Baby Yoda is not really just like annoying like Minions. He just kind of exists. He's visually cute, but he doesn't really do a whole lot. So he's like pretty inoffensive in that regard.
Although the people who enjoy him and make him this big internet meme and be like, ooh woo, Baby Yoda wants his chalky milk, those people I hate.
It's not good to live with hate in your heart.
I know hate leads to the dark side, but I don't give a shit.
I wasn't even doing a Star Wars reference.
I was.
What do I look like to you, some kind of fucking dork?
Oh, of course, you're obviously the most chaddest of the chads here.
Yeah, I'm a cool guy. Everyone's like, man, Xavier's so cool.
And they're like, man, Xavier's so cool. He obsesses about John Carpenter movies, and he plays Dead Space, and he likes comic books, and these obviously not nerdy things.
You don't gotta be mean about it.
I'm not being mean about it. I'm just telling the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Man, fuck you.
Okay, if that's what you want.
No!
Why are you so disturbed by sex? We need to do a Freudian analysis of why you're so disgusted by sex.
It's just when the way you specifically say it, like just the word just sounds incorrect out of your mouth.
Well, fuck you too, then. And not like in the fun way either.
This reminds me of old episodes of the podcast. Just a complete shit show. Just utter train wreck.
I am an utter train wreck. What are you talking about? I think the difficulty is that this time you don't have as much to say about the game because you haven't actually played this game. So, like, what do you remember? What do you remember about from your Let's Play that you didn't actually do that much of? You know, what do you remember from that? Tell me.
The Let's Play that I watched.
Yeah.
I remember that the voice acting seemed pretty good for an indie game.
Yeah, the voice acting is really good.
I remember, I think there's a talking head that you become friends with.
But we won't be using it. Not today. The flow is seasonal, and when the spring runs dry, the damp
there's like an invisible thing in the water.
Yeah, there is.
There is an
Is that thing cool? I think that thing might be cool.
Well, it's just, an invisible thing in the water, and then there's the monster that you have to dodge, and then there's the puzzles. So basically this game has sort of like two main sort of gameplay modes, which is, so there's the, so first of all, there's the, there's puzzles, and second of all, there is there's puzzles, and then there's hide in the dark and get to the end place while avoiding the bad guy.
The wiggity giggity ghost.
Exactly. So those are the two main sort of gameplay modes. There's 3D walking sim game segments, and then there's hiding in the corner gameplay segments. And sort of that's kind of what Alien Isolation takes a lot of inspiration from. Is hiding
like a bitch simulator?
Hiding like a bitch simulator, and then there's the puzzle section as well. But I think the thing that's really different is that Amnesia really delineates the two in a much stronger way. Yeah. And that's either like, it's a good thing and a bad thing, because when you're in the puzzle sections, it's sort of a different frame of mind than you would be otherwise. So it's kind of sort of a nice sort of breather,
Alien Isolation tries to keep you fucking super upset at all times by making it so you have to do puzzles while you're being attacked and chased and stalked. And I actually think that's cool in theory, but after a while it starts to get really nerve-wracking, because you're just like, God, just give me a break, like sometimes you forget that, like, you don't know when it's time to just turn off, like, paranoid mode.
And I think that the pacing of Amnesia is a little bit stronger there. And also, I think there's sort of a very cool way in which the Amnesia gimmick works here, because it's a good way to sort of tell a story in a very, very, with very limited resources, Because you're just like, okay, you're just walking around, and then you hear voiceover, and that's it. And then you don't need to worry about any more than that.
Oh, my legs!
Why do you have legs?
I don't know. Why do you?
I don't.
Why don't you? So, David, what are you going to dress up as for Halloween this year?
Well, I don't have a costume specifically, but what I thought I could do is that I went to the grocery store yesterday and I bought some, like, real cheap makeup that they had on sale, so I might try and make myself a vampire, you know.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Why do you say cool?
Suck some blood.
I think I'll be more like a Twilight sexy
Just
vampire.
complimenting you, Jesus.
I think I'll be more like a sexy vampire, like Twilight. You know, the kind that just runs really fast.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like, just kind of like fluff your hair out a little bit.
Well, I have the hair for it, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm as
Gotta
much
go
of
fast.
I'm much of a whiny weirdo as the vampires in Twilight, you know. So.
Them Batman-looking ass bitches.
Why does he look like Batman?
I don't know. It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it?
It is. So, do you have any thoughts about the about Moon Knight upcoming? That upcoming Disney Plus Moon Knight show.
Perhaps I've written something like a 25 to 30 minute video worth of thoughts on that.
And could you give us some teasers on that? Some exclusive hints for the 6 people who are watching the stream right now.
Well, there's a whole section where I talk about all the things that Netflix Marvel shows did that I want the Moon Knight show to not do.
That could be some interesting content, you know? It could be... Because, like, a lot of people on the online circles really worship, like, Daredevil and all those things. And these Disney shows
that's the thing is that they worship Daredevil, but there's 6 other shows or whatever the fuck laying around in there.
Hey, Jessica Jones Season 1 was good.
Jessica Jones Season 1 is fantastic. On par with Daredevil. And then Jessica Jones Season 2 is like a Zeppelin crashing. And then Jessica Jones Season 3 is a boring-ass flatline that has like... I think there was like a human serial killer was the antagonist of that season, and it's like... We just did 2 seasons where it was someone with superpowers, and now we're like that fucking bored.
Wow.
Aiden Rodriguez says he thinks Luke Cage was pretty decent. That's totally valid, and that's your opinion, but in my opinion, Luke Cage was probably the worst one, fighting for that spot with Iron Fist. Those two really battling for it.
Iron Fist definitely was a boring show.
My problems with Luke Cage stem from the fact that its pacing was abysmal, like hilariously bad, to the point that I feel like it's kind of funny. I've been able to break it down before, but there's like a whole episode of that show where they literally just hang out in one location and just go to a different room and then talk, and then go back inside and then talk. Or yeah, they go out to the front, sit on the park bench, and then have a conversation, and then go inside the barbershop and then have a conversation, and go in the back room and have a conversation, then come back out front to have a conversation, and then the barbershop gets shot in a drive-by. And it's like a whole episode where the pacing is just like nothing. Like everyone's just sitting around talking in one location. And there's like multiple episodes of Luke Cage that are like that. And it's like, this is a show about a guy with bulletproof skin, but you have to convince him so bad to get up and do anything, because otherwise he just likes to sit around and just talk.
That does sound kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie. So, what's the?
Even the first episode, it's like, it's just his daily routine. He just goes to work, and then he goes to his other job, and then like talks to some people on the way there, and then he gets there, and then they're like, oh, hey, the other guy because he works at like a club, and they're like, hey, the bartender is out today, so we need someone to fill in. So Luke Cage is like, oh, well, I'm the dishwasher, but I guess I could do the bartender job. And then they give him the uniform, but it's a little too small, but he still tries to wear it anyway. And then he meets a girl at the bar, and then they go back to his place and hook up. And And that's like 30 minutes of shit right there. Is all just that. And then it'll occasionally show something interesting as like a B plot.
Sounds like a great show. I can't wait to watch it. So now that Netflix isn't making Marvel shows, what kind of superhero shows would you like to see from Marvel, or do you want to see any at all, you know?
Honestly, I've been saying this forever, and I know it'll never happen, as sad as it is, but I think Spider-Man only really works as a fucking TV show, or like a long serialized format, because there's just so many long character arcs and just so many long plots, and it's like so much to develop, and like I think what keeps shooting that in the foot is trying to fit all that shit into like 2-hour segments with 3-year gaps in between. I think Spider-Man would just work better as just a series, but like, nah, that's not gonna happen.
It makes too much money, you know. We gotta leave the shows to the D-listers like Moon Knight. Like, sorry,
well,
I know you like Moon Knight.
That actually leads me to my next point, is because he, by comparison, is so much less crazy and like over the top in terms of his powers. You could probably get away with doing a Deadpool show and like take a little bit longer to develop like how tortured and fucked up of a character he is. And,
once again, like I was saying earlier, he's too popular for a TV show. We have to give it to
he's
the D-listers.
Too popular. I know, but like I'm just saying that the character works for it, both in terms of like
but
scale
here's the other
and
question.
in terms of like personality.
Here's the other question. You could definitely incorporate this into your video, which is Disney Plus. Because Disney Plus, it was too controversial to have a very chaste gay relationship in Love Victor. So
Yeah.
if they can't have that shit on Disney Plus, what do you think they're gonna do with, a violent character like Moon Knight or Deadpool? So that's something we also need to think about with these Disney Plus shows, is that there's a much stronger editorial sort of censorship thing going on here.
Well, in the case of Moon Knight, I think that it's possible, given like what they do with the Mandalorian,
especially because there's no gay people in that.
There's no gay people in it. You know what? I just realized a main fucking character in Moon Knight, like his best friend, is gay. Ooh.
Well, I guess they're gonna have to move it to Hulu.
What are they gonna do with Jean-Paul Ducamp? Are they gonna just fucking kick him out?
I mean, they'll probably.
Best friend. It's the guy who pilots the helicopter everywhere. He's in like every story.
They'll probably straight wash him.
Stuff. Oh, that's sad. That makes me upset. Fucking, they're gonna straight wash Frenchie. That's horrible.
Well, I'm just joking here, because like, who knows what they're gonna do? But what I'm saying here is that
I think they might. There's a shot that they'll actually do that, because there is no bottom for Disney. They will continue sinking lower.
Well, they can't get much lower than the whole the whole China thing with Mulan.
The Mulan.
That's pretty. That's pretty bottom tier energy for Disney.
Yeah. Well, okay. But in terms of the violence, I think you can get away with it with how they do it in The Mandalorian, which is like... you ever watch the movie Taken? Those are all PG-13, but like 1,000 people die per movie in that series. It's just people getting shot, then just don't have the blood come out, Just have them fall down. Or like... if something really gruesome happens, just like kind of do it off screen. If Moon Knight leans down and carves a fucking moon crescent into someone's forehead, just keep it locked on a close-up of his face and see the blood splatter and just hear the guy screaming, and then show later the horrible scar. you don't have to show him peeling someone's skin off, you know? Because, like, in the opening 5 minutes of The Mandalorian, someone gets cut in half. They just, like, cut to a different thing and you hear the sound of it. So, like, it's possible. It's just, you gotta be careful with it. That's why I think, like, I don't know, every time someone tells me that a character needs to be rated R, like, a lot of the time I kind of roll my eyes, because, like, even Deadpool, a lot of his comics aren't necessarily rated R, you know? Like, he doesn't cuss nearly as much as people fucking think he does, nor is all the gore, like, that bad. I don't know. I think.
How would you? What would you? I think. What would you be? Say the ideal rating would be for a Deadpool movie.
For a Deadpool movie, I guess R works, but like hard PG-13 works too.
Yeah, I was saying this a while ago that have you seen Once Upon a Deadpool?
No, but I know what it is. It's just like they wanted to kind of recoup their losses on the budget.
It's the PG-13 recut for, like, China.
Yeah.
Of Deadpool 2, which means is they didn't lose money, they just wanted to make more.
Well, didn't the first cut of it theatrically not do super well?
No, it did really well.
Okay.
They just re-released it again to make more money in China, you know?
Cyborg Diego says, but Xavier, that's Star Wars, though. You can only perform fatalities in Star Wars if the characters are wearing helmets that completely cover their face.
That's true.
Alright, yeah. Yeah, if they're wearing a helmet, you can do whatever to them. Remember when Jango Fett's fucking head gets cut off by a laser sword, and then it flops down next to his son, and his son is horrified, and then picks it up, and then he's like, I gotta get the head out of here so I can wear this now.
I do remember that. So I'm trying to stuck on this puzzle because I need to find another tube, and I can't find the tube. Okay. Huh. What do I do here? Okay, never mind. I got it to work.
Yay. He's learning, folks.
I'm learning how to video game.
One day I want to learn how to video game.
What video game would you video game if you could video game a video game?
I'd like to video game the early Silent Hill games, because those are really hard, and I have attempted to video game them in the past, but got stuck and
you know,
if you ever
wanna do a live stream on your channel of the early Silent Hill games, I'd be willing to show up with you and give you some moral support. You know,
that would be cool. You, like maybe do like a reverse of the setup we have here.
Exactly.
All right, that could work. Because I haven't seen my friends in so long.
You haven't seen your friends?
I haven't seen my friends in so many years.
How do you know if you have friends?
Don't ask me these questions.
I don't know if I have friends either, so I'm with you there.
Xavier, from the perspective of a blind person, what color is Boba Fett? Do you mean from the perspective of a colorblind person? I'm gonna assume that's what you mean.
Because a blind person can see Boba Fett. He transcends sight itself.
Boba Fett's costume is so cool, even blind people are like, yeah, he's cool. But as far as I know, he is His armor is green with like red highlights on the helmet and like yellow shoulder pads, and I think like a light gray undersuit, like cloth part on the.
Let me take a look.
I think that's it. Because again, I can see some colors. Some stuff is pretty all right.
You can see some colors. That's like saying you can.
You're conserving water for the spring.
You still have some part of the visible spectrum in your eyes.
To some extent.
Mr. Person says you're right on the money, so if you believe Mr. Person.
Yay!
Well, that too. But
I believe
to run different.
So Xavier, it's 6:05. We can continue for another half an hour if you want. Otherwise, I'm ready to wrap up whenever you are.
We could finish up. We're getting, we're having fun.
Yeah. I don't want to force you to go do anything,
Yeah, I think we're okay.
We need consent, is what I'm saying.
Okay, alright, okay. A little weird, but okay.
Why is that weird? What is weird about consent, you fucking rapist?
Wow! Take it back a notch.
Well, I mean, you're either cool with consent or you're not cool with consent. And I'm assuming that if you're saying that consent is not key, then you're a rapist. I mean, am I wrong?
I don't even...
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What are you talking about? No, I'm not okay, obviously.
Are you having a problem over there?
My only problem is you.
Alright, I will agree to that though, Cyborg Diegos. Boba Fett does suck. He's garbage. No, don't get me wrong, I think he's cool, but he also sucks,
He looks cool.
I've said it before, and maybe that rant, maybe that didn't catch on enough into people's memories, so I'll remind all of you. Boba Fett is one of several billion clones of one guy. His outfit is pilfered from some guy who died decades ago. So his cool outfit, the thing that everyone knows him for, is not even his. Worse yet, it was stolen by that guy from some space religion of literally millions of guys who used to dress like that. So there is literally nothing special about the character at all.
So here's an interesting question. Who is cooler? The Mandalorian from The Mandalorian or Boba Fett?
Absolutely the Mandalorian, 1,000%. Mandalorian fucking wipes the floor with Boba Fett.
Okay, tell me why.
A boring sack of shit. Because the Mandalorian actually does things. Every episode he does things. Every episode you see him do something cool to actually earn the fucking reputation of being cool. Because in Star Wars, Boba Fett is a guy who just stood there in the background and didn't do anything, really. But everyone was like, oh, that guy's a fucking badass. I wonder what his whole deal is. I want to learn more about that guy. And then, like, there was this weird thing where the fan reception of him started to become the character's, like, reception of him, too, in-universe. So everyone's like, oh, Boba Fett, he's a fucking awesome badass guy, even though he does nothing in those movies. He stands around in the background for one movie, and then gets in a one fight in the sequel, and then gets eaten instantly after doing nothing.
But you're forgetting about all the All the fan fiction.
Expanded
expanded universe novels.
It's not real. It's not real. It's bullshit fan fiction. I shouldn't need supplementary material. You know? If a character is lame, then I shouldn't have to go play a video game where they're not, like, so that I can respect them. And mind you, that video game would have been made 20 years after the fact.
Not just the video games, but also the books. In the comic books.
Ugh. I mean, even in the comic books, they have a hard time selling Boba Fett, because there's that one thing where he gets out of the Sarlacc pit in one of like the old comics, I think, and then goes to find some Jawas and tries to sell his suit to them so that he can get like funds to get off planet, and then their sandcrawler ship thing crashes back into another Sarlacc and gets eaten. So he had to get out of the Sarlacc twice.
That's pretty funny. That's some big, like, Curb Your Enthusiasm energy right there.
He's just sitting there crossing his arms in his suit, just going... Well, however, the robot chicken version of Boba Fett is the funniest fucking character ever and is perfect and is amazing. Robot Chicken did everything with Boba Fett that, like... Not that they should have done in the movies, but, like, would have given him at least a little more personality than none at all. Because in the Robot Chicken sketches, he's like this overconfident, like, fucking douchebag who's, like, really full of himself, but he's always just, like, failing and screwing things up anytime he tries anything. Like, one of the guards from Jabba's palace is in the stomach of the Sarlacc pit and is just waiting down there, and then Boba Fett falls and lands next to him and stands up and is like, yeah, I kicked all their asses. Like 10,000 Jedi showed up though, so I threw myself down here as a way out, and I'm left with throwing a thermal detonator at him and blow him up. And he like tells this story about how like this just overcomplicated story about how he beat everyone, and then the guy goes, "Wow, man, that's awesome. At least you didn't go out like a punk." And then he goes, Yeah, total badass. He's like crying in his helmet.
That's pretty great.
If you haven't seen all the Robot Chicken sketches with Boba Fett, I recommend checking them out, because they also give him the funniest voice, too.
Mm-hmm. Cyborg Diego says,
"Oh my god,
he also
you know
keeps wanting
to
revenge for his dad."
that I got on one of my videos. On my Batman Arkham Knight review part 2, I got a comment that says, "Net picking."
What?
N-E-T. N-E-T picking. Net picking.
Net picking.
The guy's accusing me of net picking.
Okay.
So I replied with star nitpicking, which in itself is an irony. Cyborg Diego says, Boba Fett also keeps wanting revenge for his dad, despite his dad being a bad person who was trying to murder a Jedi who was defending himself.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Why does he doesn't even really get revenge for that, like, he tries in the Clone Wars show, I think. But in that show, he's like 14. Anyway, I was still very excited to hear he's going to be in Mandalorian Season 2, because I know that he's just going to be a villain, and there's a very strong chance that Mando is just going to fucking kick his ass.
Who's going to be in Mandalorian Season 2?
Boba Fett. played by the actor who played Jango Fett in the Clone Wars, or no, not the Clone Wars, the prequels. They got that guy back to play adult Boba Fett.
I wonder how much it cost to get him back.
I mean, I don't think he was doing anything.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
I think it's cool when you get back people for cameos and like distant sequels, and it's like they were clearly not doing anything, but then you could just kind of tell that they were really excited to be asked to come back. Like the entire show of Cobra Kai is just let's get back all these people who weren't really up to anything lately and get them back for something, and like it'll actually be cool. Or like when they got back the kid from the first Child's Play movie to play the adult version of his character in the most recent Chucky films. That was fucking sick.
Didn't they do something similar with, what am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? Yeah, I was just thinking about that. It's you know, it's cool to see people who are who used to do work to, you know, be working again. I'm glad that you know, I was thinking about that because I was some people and some of my friends were watching what's its name? What's the name of the movie? Oculus with Karen Gillan.
Oh.
Have you seen
Oculus?
that one?
You and I watched it together.
I thought I watched it by myself.
No, you watched it at my house.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't remember this. I'm so sorry.
Fine, fuck you too.
I mean, if that's what you want.
You guys remember when I streamed all of Batman Arkham Origins by myself and David wasn't there? That was cool.
You did that?
No, that's the oh my god, fuck you.
I'm sorry, I'm being very stupid today. It's just
Are
what
you
happens
doing a bit?
No, it's just what happens when Halloween comes around. It just become dumb.
It just gets all up in your brain.
I've got Halloween in my brain right now. It stupidifies
You got a
me.
Halloween brain.
Yeah. Also, this is I'm in the puzzle section of this game, so I'm trying to figure out what to do.
You want me to just ramble about something while you do puzzle?
Oh yeah, he somebody in the chat also says that he was Aquaman's dad in Aquaman.
Oh, you're right. Oh my god, I didn't even notice. Oh my god.
I still haven't seen Aquaman.
Are you telling me they executed her? Because she had me?
What are you talking about?
You know. That bit for that famous scene from Aquaman, remember?
I'm
favorite scene.
I haven't seen Aquaman. I just told you that. So was Aquaman any good?
I kind of hated it, honestly.
You did?
I thought it was super boring. But I mean, it just like it felt like 3 other movies I've seen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of the effects were kind of an eyesore, and like it's got to be like a really effects heavy movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, especially like with the underground sequences, right?
Or the underwater stuff, yeah.
Underwater sequences, right?
Yeah. That could have looked a little better.
Because I'm willing to bet all of that was just, green screen stuff.
Yeah, it was all the actors on harnesses just floating in front of a fucking blue screen, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels like it has like the same story as like Black Panther and the first Thor movie mushed together.
The Black Panther and Thor, yeah?
Yeah, because it's like, well...
Except, you actually like the first Thor,
like,
right?
I do like the first Thor. Black Panther isn't really, like, my favorite, but I think it's, like, fine. And then Aquaman, like, I didn't like it, yeah. It felt like too many things I've seen already, like, it just didn't really offer anything new. And, I wasn't really, like, particularly blown away by any of the action scenes, so, like, none of those really, like, stuck with me. I just kind of forgot them pretty quick. It was forgettable. Like, nothing really about it, like, stuck in my mind. Like, I watched it once, and, like, I can barely remember, like, 2 scenes from it. And I'm, like, struggling right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cyborg Diego says, it's a very action sequence heavy movie, so the characterization is non-existent. Yeah, I guess I just wasn't really on board for Aquaman as a character in that one. Just because, like, he doesn't really do a whole lot except just go from point A to point B and fight things. There's not a whole lot of scenes where we get to, like, know him a little.
So what do you think about the Trench movie that they're making?
Are they actually going through with that?
Well, I heard they're putting it in development.
Well, that doesn't always necessarily mean it's gonna get made, because, a lot of shit's in development, like the Jackpot movie at Sony, like...
The what?
But... that to me, if they are gonna go through and just make that, screams of, like, desperation. Like, what do we got that we can
here's
make a
the
movie
thing.
out of?
Aquaman made $1 billion worldwide, so of course you want to make a spin-off to
you
that.
have this... Well, no, just make more Aquaman movies then.
Well, they're doing that too.
Like, it's... Yeah, but you don't need a spin-off of every cool sequence in a movie. Like, that's like if George Lucas was like, all right, we're gonna make a spin-off about that big worm that attacked them in Empire while they were parked on the asteroid. Like, it was just a cool little side thing. You don't even make a fucking movie about that. I don't need to know about that. I don't need to know what the whole deal with that thing was. It's just, it's a monster. It's on an asteroid.
Okay, so there's an interview about it as of last year, but there hasn't been anything since then. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's one of theirs. Oh, we'll make one of these eventually type projects, like their Gotham City Sirens movie. That's totally gonna happen.
For now.
Well, isn't that just going to be like the spin-off of Birds of Prey?
I mean, it might be like the sequel to Birds of Prey, but we'll see.
Just down the corridor to the mall.
I'm totally sure there's going to be directed by David Ayer, the guy who directed Suicide Squad, because, I'm sure that's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, everyone loves that guy.
Especially Jared Leto.
Ooh.
So speaking of DC, are you excited for the Zack Snyder cut?
Honestly, kinda, yeah. I'm curious about it. I want to see how it was different. I mean, like, I don't know. I find myself in a minority. I don't think he's a genius. I think every person saying that he's like a directorial genius and he's the modern Stanley Kubrick or whatever the fuck, I think those people are stupid. But, like, I don't hate everything he's done with a horrible, like, scalding passion either. Like, I actually kind of like Man of Steel and like Batman versus Superman even. Like, I'm well aware of the flaws of those movies, and I agree with a lot of the criticisms of them, but I can also still just kind of watch them, you know?
So my opinion of Zack Snyder is that he's a
Yeah.
good visual director. He knows how to line up a shot, but as long as you're okay with, you know, all of the excessive CGI and the sort of sepia tones that he favors, which kind of get old after a while.
Yeah.
But as long as you're okay with that, he's good visually, but he's like a guy who just sort of throws concepts at the wall and he's like, what if Superman were evil? Wouldn't that be interesting? What would happen if, you know, we woke the fuck up and Batman killed people or whatever? And he just has these interesting concepts that he comes up with, but he doesn't really think any of them through, or like, he doesn't really like to think that much about what he does. He just sort of does it. So like, it just he that might be worse almost than saying that he's this guy he's this, you know, guy who's a fascist or whatever.
This genius auteur. Oh yeah, that whole thing.
I think he's just a guy who likes to have these interesting takes and interesting opinions, but then he doesn't really think through the implications of what he puts in his movies that much. I think the most instructional piece of a thing on Zack Snyder is the bit where he said with Batman versus Superman, let's just throw everything in it. Put everything in it. Why the fuck not, you know? And he's like, he doesn't really think about what he puts in his movies as much.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think sometimes it's a little haphazard, but like, at the same time, I kind of admire that because, like, that's very refreshing compared to the Marvel, like, formulaic, like, super safe movies where it's like, don't try anything too controversial, just make it okay. Just make it, like, a big meh across the board. Nothing that would, like, get anyone talking, because for as many flaws as Zack Snyder's superhero movies have, we're still talking about him how many years later, but who's fucking talking about, like, Doctor Strange, or, like, I don't know, fucking Ant-Man 2, or, like, Spider-Man Homecoming? Like, Far From Home is the big source of, like, arguments in the Spider-Man community, and, you know, they'll just argue about whatever is the most recent thing. So, like, I don't know, there's just, like, I feel like the fact that he's willing to try such experimental, crazy bullshit is kind of cool, even if it very rarely works out. Because, like, you know, I like that he's willing to take the risks. Because, you know what? One of these days...
Listen.
One of them will work out. I feel like he's gonna get one.
Hey. I just wanted to interrupt.
Okay.
I didn't say he was taking risks. I just said he was stupid. I called Zack Snyder stupid. That's what I said just there. Because what I said was that he doesn't think through the implications of his own movies.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that I just like that he tries things. When you just throw everything at the wall, you know, you're just trying a bunch of shit at once, and yeah, not all of it works. In fact, not like the majority of it doesn't. But like that's at least different from the really robotic filmmaking on the other end of the spectrum. I think there's a good place in the world for that chaos. I appreciate how just the random bullshit, because, like, you know, at least it's something.
Is it something, though?
Yeah, you know, comparatively, yeah. What's going on with this here Spooky League Vigigam?
I need to get to the,
Do you need to do that? Yeah.
Okay, so I drilled into the skull. So now I'm using the syringe to get the blood out. And then I'm getting the glass jar to hose the blood.
I don't think that multiverse shit is even happening in the next Spider-Man movie. There's like... It was a rumor started by just some random blog post, and like...
Oh, yeah?
People say that has credence because that blog post has in the past guessed things that were correct. But like... Even still, there's just no proof at all or anything to back that up as like a for sure thing. But everyone just went crazy with it, and it just started getting like misreported as like a sure thing, like full on confirmed. Like this busted ass telephone where it's like, you know, one person says it's a rumor, one person says, oh, it might happen, and then the next person says, oh, it's gonna happen. Like it's been warped. Like no one said anything to actually make it seem like that's definitely gonna happen.
To be fair, that does happen a lot.
What? What was that?
To be fair, that does happen a lot.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of rumors turn out that way.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to just, like, make anyone believe anything on the internet.
Okay, so
Like, you just kind of just say something and they'll just believe it. They don't even fact check. It's amazing.
sometimes you can just tell other people that certain YouTubers who like to review comic books and have red color schemes like to sniff their own farts, and they can just believe you, you know?
Yeah, they won't even ask.
Like, I'm saying that Xavier
check,
might like to sniff his own farts, but I'm not saying that he does. I'm saying that it was alleged by anonymous sources.
Well, you know, controversial YouTube personality, cautiously realistic, may or may not have a fetish for dressing up as a goat and having someone else dress up as a wolf and chase him around until they tackle him. It's a possibility.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Now, I'm not saying that's true, but it's alleged. Next thing you know is both things are going to be true on Twitter tomorrow.
So anyway, it is now 6:30. Should we wrap it up so you can get trick or treating?
Yeah. I'll go get everything ready, and since the sun is starting to go down a little bit here.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for dropping in for our short little Halloween stream. Hopefully, you all have a lovely and spooky evening. And remember, tune in next week where we will once again have an Among Us stream with, you know, the gang, the people. So thank you once again for coming. We will see you next week.
All right, see you around, everyone. Love yous.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.